What's going on, guys? Winter Kills here. Welcome back to a brand new duel video. Today we've got Pendulum Magicians versus Atlantean Mermail, of course, in the Link era. Speaking of Link era, look what we've got here. Start things off. Some Link summons. Gofu now becoming the... I don't know what I'm gonna call it. Is it like a Saki play now? Like, oh, my opponent saw the Gofu before I did. At least in the stage that we are in with Links. Very early stage. I don't know. I think Gofu's a good Kickstarter to basically get every deck involved into making a decode talker. I think it's a good start, but some people may disagree with me, which is okay. But anyways, he's got Purple Poison Magician and Black Fang Magician in the scales. He's able to Pendulum summon two, one from his extra deck thanks to decode talker, and one from hand. Now this build of Pendulums is very consistent at gaining advantage, getting advantage to your hand. So a lot of times you're not really hindered by the fact that sometimes you only have one, or in this case two, extra deck spots to Pendulum summon into. This deck has no problem sometimes Pendulum summoning 3 or 4 because a majority of them are from your hand, so you don't really suffer from the new Pendulum mechanic. And yes, this time he has put his scales in the proper place, as if you guys were scolding him in the last video. I'm like, yo, they were on it. You guys sometimes can be a little over the top, but you guys know your shit most of the time, which I guess is good. You guys can keep people in line, keep me in line, and that's why I love you guys, because you're always there. Sometimes for better, sometimes for worse. I don't know, but I appreciate you guys nonetheless for your viewership, for your support, and all that stuff as we creep slower and slower. Not slower and slower, but I guess closer and closer. It has been a little slow because of my lack of uploads, but we're getting there now. Slowly getting closer to 5,000 subs. Now, here is a tragic first turn play by me. And notice that key placement from my Teus. I don't want to give him an extra 500 attack on his decode talker. Fuck that noise. I put it in the zone over, so he doesn't get the added bonus of that extra 500 attack. Now, you see how I added that Deep Sea Diva there? Big mistake. A little greedy I am. I always think that, hey, if I can get a Diva on board, I should go for the Diva play, right? Wrong. Wrong you are, Winter Kills. Wrong you are. But anyways, you see how that basically just cost me there, losing 2 monsters to his Pendulum Graph, his Time Pendulum Graph, because I didn't add a Megalo, and now I have no extra play. I was getting greedy for what my normal summon should be, and I was basically counting on that Neptibus to get me that Dragoon Surge, to get me that Megalo I needed into my hand. Now, also, I know I screwed up. I realize that as he resolves that Duelist Alliance, the card is absolutely busted. But as one thing I wanted to point out is that his setup with his Xyz monster, with that trap card, it makes it very hard for me to do anything. Like you see there, he gets that 2 pop by only losing one of his monsters. He gets to pop something for the effect of his Pendulum Graph, and for the effect of, I'm pretty sure, of the monster that he destroyed, the Pendulum he destroyed. So, like, he's got a really good setup, and plus his Xyz Magician does protect itself and pretty much most other Pendulums on the field. And here he gets to make a pretty interesting play. He does mess up on his zone placements, but I kind of let it go through because, you know, I said, fuck it. I'm in a losing position as I sit there with my lowly Diva who isn't doing anything right now because I screwed up very badly. And he gets to go into Zark. Zark blows up my field, and he swings in for plenty of damage per game. And we forget that happened, and we move it into Game 2. Game 2 goes a bit differently. For better, for worse, I don't know. You'll just have to find out. Gofu starting things off. So glad I get to open up that card. I know some of you guys were telling me to sort of wait to play links, but I just want to put some blue cards in my extra deck, so I'll do what I do. If it's not as good as it could be, well then oh well, let me experiment and find out on my own, but it doesn't seem to be going too bad. And another thing as it goes with breaking those turn 1 boards against this Pendulum deck, I needed to add some back row removal. Currently in this build it's trapless, no Twin Twisters, just sheer combos, but I added a couple Twin Twisters because I think it's going to be worth it, especially with better discard targets in the future, especially if I play Fishborg Launcher. Putting that in the grave via Twin Twister is great. Putting a Mistmander in the grave via Twin Twister is great. And of course, discarding Guns off Twin Twister is amazing because Gun will get its effect of just sheerly being discarded. It doesn't have to be for a water effect. But I find out this turn that opening Diva and opening Teus and opening Gofu lead to a very broken field. Look at that. Tatsunoko coming out. Megalo hitting the board. And I don't think I mentioned this yet, but the new Chainlink ruling making it a little easier for us Mermail players to get our Megalo search off, because let's say that I summon a Megalo by discarding a Dragoons and a Gund. Of course, you have 3 Chainlinks there. Dragoons being mandatory as Chainlink 1. But your Gund and your Megalo can be in any order. Either Chainlink 2 or Chainlink 3. You can do it however you want. So if you want to protect your Megalo from Ghost Ogre, make your Gund Chainlink 3 and your Megalo Chainlink 2. Very interesting. I like the new ruling change they added with Chainlinks. Mulan coming down. And VFD calling Dark in the standby phase. Here he's able to get a search off his Duelist Alliance. Search any freaking card in his deck with the name Pendulum in it. It's absolutely busted. Talk about search power and advantage. This card is absolutely nuts. I think the one ruling question my opponent was a bit confused on is one of the cards says basically you can't attack if you do this or something like that. And there was a question with, you know, VFD says that monster can't attack and whether it would work that way. I can't remember the exact ruling, but if somebody knows what I'm talking about, they'll post about it in the comment section. I'll appreciate that. It'll kind of clear things up. But we just basically ruled that you wouldn't be able to do it based under the conditions of VFD. So he adds his Pendulum graph. And I think there's not much else he can do in this position, right? Because, you know, I'm locking down most of his field with the VFD, and of course he's down a couple of cards due to Mulan Glacia, and I got so lucky by hitting the Forbidden Chalice out of his hand. So he sets 2, and of course one of them is the Pendulum Graph. And I think his set monster ends up being a Skullcrabat Joker. Now, I didn't want to be greedy like I was turn 1, so I played it very carefully by attacking his set monster, not with my Tatsunoko, not with my Dragoons, but I swung in with a higher attack monster because I wanted to make sure I'd get over whatever defense it had. I don't want to make myself look too stupid. But anyways, debating at this point if there's anything else I can do. I swing in with Mulan. And luckily for me, of course, you know, he's got 0 defense, so I could have been a little safer with that, or a little more aggressive. I can't Ghost Ogre it because the effect activates when it's being flipped up. So I have to put that Ghost Ogre shamefully back in my hand, and I end up losing the VFD. I don't think there's anything I really could have done to save it, except for maybe use my Decode Talker. I don't know why I didn't do that. Maybe for some reason I couldn't have, but I feel like I could have just used my Decode Talker there. And I swing in with the rest of my monsters, do a decent amount of damage. And he ends up scooping anyways because there's not much he can do in that position. And then we move on to game 3. So I got lucky there. His resources were low, and I was able to outlast a little longer. Of course, he was able to clear the VFD, but him losing a whole turn of not being able to, you know, do anything hurt him pretty bad. And he gets to open up Gofu in this last game here as well, here in game 3. Everybody opening up Gofu each game allows for some pretty nutty plays. At least as a starter play, it's a very good starter card. Gets you where you need to be in terms of link summoning. So he has Oath Dragon, and I think that's Black Fang Magician, summoning out I forget that one's name, but 2 Wisdom Eye Magicians come out for his Time Gazer Magician, and Skullcrobat Joker gets normal summoned to get a search. More searches, because who doesn't need searches? Every deck needs searches, but this one does a really good job at doing it. Now, to be fair, I'll make excuses, but I don't think I open up too well with this hand. But then again, he also has a very good setup. Here we start things off with Pike. Pike discards Dragoons. I get a search of a level 3 water, debating on which one to go for. I think I end up going with Marksman because Gund, I don't think at this point is going to be very helpful. Although I maybe should have added Gund. I don't know. Because I could have gotten a Megalo to hand like I do there, and then a Gund, and I can't really tell what I have in my hand currently. But maybe I could have made a bit better play. Maybe played around his setup a little bit. I think, of course, Twin Twister would help tremendously in this position. Pike sitting there all by his lonesome, waiting to be joined by some other fishmen, fish monsters, whatever you want to call them. Megalo getting ready to summon. So you have instant fusion in hand. Not as good as it used to be. You know, no Norden. Can't bring back that Dragoons if I wanted to go into an extra rank 4 to keep dugging, to keep comboing off. Not going to happen. A rank 4 that I could go into right now, but I don't play any rank 4s in my build. Most of you have probably seen that. I think actually maybe in the last deck profile load I was playing Abyss Dweller, which I might put back in, but like the odd chance of me wanting to actually go for rank 4 right now in this build is kind of very low. I end up tributing away that Dragoons there to get another search, because I'm in desperate need of another search. So I grab another Megalo. See, at this point, maybe it wouldn't have been so bad for me to add that gun to my hand instead of that Marksman, which basically didn't end up doing anything. I guess it forced him to flip up and activate that. Then again, I don't know. Either way, he still gets to use it. I didn't clear the problem, if you know what I'm saying. It's still there. It's just more present, I guess. And then we equip Megalo with Mizuchi. And, of course, the trap card gets activated. Nothing I can do about it. I don't have the one that negates traps. And then he ends up clearing the Pike as well. Now my field is completely empty. And I'm like, well, shit. I have a Swap Frog in hand that I don't want to summon, just for the sake of saving life points. And I decide to scoop it up because there's not much else I can do. Diva, that I could have normal summoned, but he would have just cleared the whole play away with his broken trap card. That freaking Pendulum graph is busted, man. But I think we'll find a way to deal with it. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed. I know this video is going up late, but I wanted to get up regardless. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed. Like I said, leave a like if you did. And as always, winner kills, signing out. We'll see you in the next one.